Yes, that's right. Another Xbox Activision Xbox related news story, this time about China and what is happening with their regulatory branch in the merger process. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, let's dive right in. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I greatly appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you so much. So diving right in, basically, China said to reject simplified filing requests for review of Microsoft's planned Activision deal. Basically, it sounds like Microsoft said, well, let's just have this go through the easy way. It's no big deal, right? And China's like, no, we're gonna look at it a little bit closer. This is my first time reading the article. So China's antitrust regulator is said to have rejected Microsoft's request to have its planned $69 billion purchase of Activision reviewed under a simplified filing. I don't think any of the jurisdictions have done a simplified filing. So we know of Saudi Arabia, which approved it. Brazil did an in-depth investigation and took comments from everybody, and they approved it without restriction. And now China is saying, no, we're not going to accept a simplified filing. Now, there actually was, Hogue Law, I follow Hogue. So here's what he said about it. He basically said every jurisdiction that has anything like a phase 2 will be going into their version of phase 2 dash me, quoting me. And so does this count as going against the deal? Not really, in my opinion. Really what the regulators are saying in China, the way that I read it, is they're saying, hey, we need to actually look at this thing a lot closer because it's nearly $70 billion. And it seems like that's becoming a more and more normal thing as we do more and more of these stories, right? China's State Administration for Market Regulation, or SAMR, is said to have rejected the request, according to traders who cited two separate reports that were circulating on Friday. The news comes as regulators around the world have been scrutinizing the mega video game transaction. Earlier this month, the European Commission opened an in-depth investigation into the deal on fears that the combination may significantly reduce competition. Now, I've been talking about the EU deal a lot on this channel, and actually there was a two-part video series about the tweet that went out. So if you want to watch that, I'm going to put up the little thing that pops up on YouTube in one of these corners, so you can check that out now, and I'll put it at the end of the video also if you want to watch first and then catch that later. But anyway, that's been sort of a thing going on that is a little much weirder than this China story is. The latest report also follows Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Blizzard, saying earlier this week that it will be suspending most Blizzard game services in mainland China due to expiration of the current licensing agreements with NetEase in January. Now, this is a big deal. I'm actually going to make an entirely separate video about that particular story, but this story is about China going in. You know what? I changed my mind. Click that one, and that'll be the thing that I link to the day after it goes up. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Anyway, so Activision CEO Bobby Kotick has recently said his planned $69 billion sale to Microsoft remains on track to close in the quarter ending in June. There was actually a statement released by Bobby Kotick. I think I still have it bookmarked here. Let me try and bring it up really quick, because he basically said everything's continuing on plan. And not so much to worry about it. And let me just bring it up here because I think I had it. This week, as expected, the European Commission announced we've entered the second phase of our review. Kotick has been Activision CEO for over 30 years. Here, let me just bring this up for you. Activision CEO for over 30 years said he thought the gaming industry is incredibly fragmented and that this merger is sensible. Basically, Activision employees' biggest question to Kotick about how the Microsoft deal would affect their work. He responded, I don't expect it will be a lot different than when Vivendi owned us. They let us run the business independently. I think that's largely going to be the case. Microsoft is likely to want to keep almost everybody. Yeah, almost everybody, Bobby. I do think that there is one person who they might want to get rid of. But this was from November 11th. So Bobby Kotick has been talking about this quite openly, and he still feels very confident about the deal going through. What's happening right now is all of the jurisdictions are just sort of going through the regulatory process of investigating the deal to make sure there's not market concerns. Now, I know some people on Twitter and some people online see a lot of concerning things in terms of Call of Duty potentially not being exclusive. I think I've made enough videos showing that Xbox is very clear that they're willing to make concessions on that front. So I don't think that's going to be a concern for the regulators anymore. They'll probably just put something in writing saying, do you agree to have Call of Duty on PlayStation going forward? And they'll just say yes to it. And then the deal could go through at that point. But continuing on, Activision received an upgrade from MKM Partners on Tuesday as the investment firm said the stock of the video game publisher is severely discounting the improvement in fundamentals. So MKM Partners upgraded the stock, and that could partially be due to Call of Duty selling so well. Now, I don't know if you've been following this story, but there's been a lot going on with, oh my goodness, the website just went crazy. There's been a lot going on with the whole merger. You know, Sony has come out and said that they don't feel like the deal that they were presented before the deal was announced was adequate. They've talked about how they worry that this is going to give an unfavorable advantage to Xbox. But I actually just clicked another link on Seeking Alpha about how Activision Blizzard may be a buy with or without the Microsoft deal. This was from November 18th, 2022. That's actually today when I'm recording this video. So Activision Blizzard in the low 70s may be a win-win setup for forward-looking investors. Either the Microsoft deal is approved/closed or improving sales and earnings in 2023 will support a price advance. If the Microsoft $95 cash bid fails, I am still projecting an $85 plus price in 12 months based on a 5-year valuation, averages and estimates of stronger gaming industry sales. So basically, his current suggestion is, blows in an excerpt from my original piece. With a current quote of $79 versus a bid of value of $95 in cash for each Activision Blizzard share, $69 billion in total, experienced analysts and investors are not quite sure the transaction will be completed. I personally place the odds of a final takeover approval by U.S. regulators under 50%, perhaps closer to 25%. So he's very doubtful about allowing it to happen. And he continues, it has been reported a deal breakup fee of up to $3 billion will be paid to Activision if the FTC and Department of Justice refuse to allow another big tech company. Fast forward to November 2022, and the deal is still under review. Price has drifted back down to the low 70s. Retail investors have largely moved on, leaving shares in the hands of arbitrage players gambling on government approval and the marriage of Microsoft and a $95 per share payoff. So basically what he's saying is, look, a lot of people are doubting that this deal goes through, but he's saying, well, I see an $85 target. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, the deal goes through and the shares that you buy at 70 sell at 95 in just a few months. So this analyst in particular feels that the deal is still likely. And just going back to what Hope Gloss said for just a second here, this entire deal is going to continue going to phase 2 in every jurisdiction it possibly could. I believe the Brazil investigation had gone through phase 2 where they took comments and everything. Europe is doing something sort of similar right now. So I don't think this is out of the ordinary. I don't think it's that weird, but I just wanted to make a video because we had an update on the Activision story and people seem to like hearing about what is going on there as we work towards the deal actually closing. I still think it goes through. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know how that looks. I don't know what happens after that, though. That's what I'm curious about. So, okay, let's say phase 2 happens and then somewhere says, we're not going to allow it. Like, let's say Europe says no, but everywhere else says yes, Brazil, US, everywhere else. What happens in that case? It will be interesting, and I will be covering it right here. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I greatly appreciate you watching. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Thank you so much to all of the members, and you can click that join button right at the bottom if you want to become a member. Thank you so much. I am going to get out of here, but don't forget to click that video. If you want to know what's been happening with that one regulator who works over there but isn't involved with the deal and how that's causing some concerns, I made a video about that. You can check that out or just hit subscribe if you forgot to. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.